Morrisville Borough Council together Monday, July 18, 2016 at 7:30 p.m. We'll start with a moment of silent prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. In the moment of silent prayer, I would recommend that we remember the losses we've had in our nation recently, specifically in Baton Rouge and Dallas. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we have a roll call.
Mayor Dave Lavelle. Here. Victor Cicero. Here. Fred Kerner.
Present.
Corinne Chronicle.
Here.
Danielle Larison.
Here.
Ted Parker.
Here.
Bill Pepitone.
Here.
Todd Sanford.
Here.
Debbie Smith.
Here.
In place of Sean Kilkenny, Melissa.
Here.
Myself. And Bob Stewart.
Okay, now we move on to 4 new business, part 1. We have 4A, a motion to hire Gary Zampano as a new part-time Morrisville police officer. And George, if you'd like to say a few things before this motion, welcome you to the mic.
Good evening, Council. Tonight I bring for you Gary Zampano. Gary is a lieutenant in the Army National Guard. He was a graduate of Westchester University in 2010. He works for Yardley's currently. Gary is very qualified, and I recommend that we hire him tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have that motion?
Second.
Ted and Corinne. Any questions or comments on the motion? Roll call vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. So we'll now have 5A, the swearing in of part-time officer Gary Zampano.
solemnly swear that I will support, obey, defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this Commonwealth, that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Just real quick, Council, I'd like to thank you for putting him on the agenda tonight. I know it was a last minute thing, but I was very surprised how quickly we were able to get all his background and his testing done, but I thank you for getting that done tonight.
special presentations, we move on to the hearing of the public, starting with Bill Farrell.
Bill Farrell, 347 North Pennsylvania. I'd like to congratulate the new part-time officer. I wish him the best of luck. Being a police officer today is not very attractive in this whole country. All the communities should get out and support the local police, state police and everybody, because there's a sickness going around. The people out there, and your police have bullseyes on their back, or a couple of fruitcakes or nuts who, for some unknown reason, are out there to get them. So I wish everything calms down and everybody starts to get along. The other thing is, I asked about the garbage situation. Has there been any update on trying to collect the back revenue instead of due to Sparrow? And last but not least, I want to talk about the election. Not this one in this country, because that's like going to see one circus or another circus. It's not what it's all about. But my concern is the election coming up in Morrisville. I think it's in next year or whatever. And it's time to make some changes. We made some changes, which I agree with. But there's other changes, they're still there. So, Morrisville people, get out. You can vote for nothing. It's the only thing in this country you can do for nothing. And a lot of people sit back and they're very complacent. Well, when something goes by and you see it, do something about it. Don't sit back and watch it happen and then start complaining. So my concern is the next coming election for, I believe there's 2 people in the first ward, 1 in my ward, the 3rd, and 1 in the 4th. So people, get yourself together, get some information, find out what's been going on. And if you can't see what I see, then maybe you should go have your eyes examined, because I'm not happy with where we're at. So that's it. Everybody have a nice cool summer if we ever get any weather. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Next we have Madeline Jones.
Thank you. I'm Jones, Morrisville Borough. Mr. Farrell said is correct. Don't just vote. Know, get some information and vote, whatever the election is. Don't just vote because of the party or your family's done it for hundreds of years. Get out there and know and vote. I'd like to ask, please, what the update of the title plates, the order for the title plates,
What title plates are you asking about?
for like who you are, what your position is, Mr. Kerner, what Mr. Scooby's is. Michelle, I have no idea who you are, why you're sitting there, your last name.
My name is Melissa Murray Rigney, and I work with Sean Kilkenny, the solicitor, so I represent the board tonight as the solicitor.
Okay. But please, it would be courteous and kind to offer us, whether we're at home watching TV or we're here in person, to find out your titles and not have to remember them from, your government channel. So please, I'm in earnest, because I will keep asking. I will keep asking. The other thing, I'm not sure of your position for, how do I put this? I had it on my way over. Scam notices, to safeguard the public. Walmart and Bristol Motors, very local, have put out, not themselves, but they're scams. And it truly looks like something coming from Bristol Motors, formerly Dick Haas, and from Walmart themselves. So please, if anybody is, before you sign, make a phone call, scratch off anything. I called Walmart, their legal department is looking into it. Bristol Motors, they apparently is now, used to be Dick Haas, and it's a well-known name also for many, many years. So please, before you do anything, make phone calls and don't do anything. Because there are scams out there, and if something's brought to your attention like now, I hope you look into it and make an announcement somehow on the government channel. And also, please, in today's paper, and I know the Pokemon craze, I'm learning more about it. The Courier Times, a local paper, was flooded with information today. Some of it's warnings. Some folks are getting hurt. Some apparently are going into stores or shops or playgrounds, getting hurt, destroying property where they're not wanted. So please, we need to be watchful, and protect our environment and our shops and homeowners. The other thing, I'm looking to see how many each of you, hopefully all of you, is a Morrisville resident. Okay, don't raise your hand, just yes or no, conscious. Are you a proud Morrisville resident? Yes or no, you don't have to, yes or no. Are you a proud Morrisville resident? You're a council member, everyone can see that. Are you a proud council member? Okay, and you can go back at some point later, reflection. If not, why not? If yes, why? And I'm looking to see, the next question would be, has council or anyone else sitting up there ever taken a walking tour of the borough as an individual or as a full body of council? I think it should be done yesterday, tomorrow. A meeting, I think it was the last meeting, it was mentioned about working with Falls Township about, the trash coming in and out of the borough, where the borough line, township line is. Well, today coming up, I guess 32 from the bypass, it's trashed. All coming into Morrisville is trashed. But you walk through the borough, down the bottom of Hillcrest, on the sidewalk across Pennsylvania Avenue, there's debris from the fall, leaves, and there's trash being collected there. You walk across the street on the other side of the canal bridge, and I called and spoke with the borough office last week. A branch had fallen, a small branch. And when I went by the next day, I was assured it would be taken care of. When I went by the next morning, I don't know who or how it was taken care of. Could have been a resident or somebody walking by, but it looked dead, but tossed in the street on kind of gutter. There's overgrowth. I'm talking about the canal bridge approaching the homes, the home units on the right-hand side, going down to the intersection. It's a disgrace. It's not even safe to walk. You're pushing everyone out into the street. It's a disgrace for the borough. You go down to that intersection. I don't care what side of that intersection. You have weeds growing. Now, whose responsibility is that? Maintenance? Why we have this beautiful historic setting and history, all you folks up there, all the employees, why are we having such a bad presentation of our borough? Homeowners should be respectful of the trash. I passed someone today in the borough, they were apparently just cut their grass and they were blowing the grass clippings along with the trash out to the street. Now, I went by, hopefully that they had common sense to go back and pick it all up and not leave it in the street. And I know that's somewhere on the government channel, but it's kind of fine print. But please, take a walking tour. Every one of you get together and take notes. And then you come back together with your notes and you see you share your notes and have an idea what's going on. See if you come up with the same notes, or perhaps somebody had an insight into something else. Does that make sense? Please. And one last thing. Parks. I was just briefly going through the list, and it mentioned parks, something from Cunningham, 1698. Parks. Is there a park and recreation department in the borough? Okay, if not, why not? Is there a plan for the borough, for the island? Now that the imagination playground apparently is going to have a lot to repair it. Is there a 5 or 10-year plan for the borough, for the island? And if not, why not? And actually, my last thing, please, and I didn't bring it with me, the public comment that I took home last time, and I did read through it. It mentioned if someone is a non-resident of the borough, it may be discretionary to have them speak at public comment. I hope not. That person is here for a reason, and they should be able to speak. And I don't know if I'm going to stay or not for the second part of the new business, but I'm not sure of your policy for public comment during a presentation, if after it's voted on, if it's open to public comment or not. Because we should not have to go to somebody in a ward to find out what's going on with that. We come here, and we should be permitted to speak on new business or whatever is going on the agenda. After it's voted on, open up the public comment for discussion or for questions. That's only in fairness to what's going on, or should be going on in the borough. And one last thing, I promise. Please, those of you that are dressed up there, shirts and tie, thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Next we have Jane Berg.
Good evening, Jane Berger, 90 West Maple Avenue. Ms. Jones, you caught one that I missed. The hiring technically should have come after public comment. But I don't know if there's anyone in this office, I'll grant you an amnesty on that one, that would not support that. Look to your solicitor, don't make you do that over again. I commend Officer Zapata for coming forward to become a police officer in these times. May God keep him, our officers, and every police officer safe. Sorry, I'm a police officer as well. I'm looking under approval of the minutes, and I was just wondering, Mr. Supi, at some point in time, are we going to have the minutes for the special meetings which are used for the agenda planning, the second Tuesday meetings? They are covered under a sunshine law, they're legal meetings, so you can probably do them in one page, but they really do need to be done. I have some questions on the bill list. I see that the audit is in progress because they're being billed for portions of it. And I'm wondering how the allocation across the different funds has been determined. It's been a long time, but in the past, it's, whatever the dollar amount of the budget was, that's kind of what the amount of the audit was charged to it. Certainly general funds, a big item in recreation, but it seemed to me that the street fund, of course I can't find the page because I'm looking for it, was like $700, and it was the same as recreation funds. So I'm not sure just how you're determining how to allocate that across the funds. I am glad you were doing it and not keeping it on the general fund, which we know is under severe pressure. I planned to say some comments regarding the action last meeting regarding the retirement of a long-standing and a faithful and very competent employee, in discussion about the title and not being union or whatever. My comments are slightly different tonight as I've looked things up. And I see on the bill list, checks issued between meetings, that there was a reimbursement to Mr. Kavanaugh, and it has his title as crew leader. Not superintendent, not foreman, crew leader. Perhaps he was acting superintendent. I do remember when his predecessor became superintendent and that left a vacancy in the foreman's position, he was certainly considered off the position. There was a question of taking the foreman or not, because the foreman is management and therefore not part of the collective bargaining unit. So I was surprised this evening, looking at the bill list, to see his title as crew leader, because crew leader is definitely a position covered under the AFSCME collective bargaining agreement. And that agreement hasn't changed section on sick leave that says you can accumulate up to 175 sick days, period. And obviously, if that's what you had, you can get the payment for $25 per day. So we're seeing this whole discussion of paying him full salary for days over that. Originally, I was going to say, you know, if you can do it then because of his management, then at least do it to $25 a day, and then not at least be consistent with what you're paying the rest of the sick. But seeing that he's listed as being still in a union job title, and Mr. Manager, you can, you know, look afterwards and verify that and see if he's in fact still paying union dues. But if he is a union member, I think what you did last month, although it was well-intentioned and it's very nice to reward employees of long service, violation, one would be a violation of contract. Two, you're doing something that's really not permitted, and you need a policy to correct it because, you know, it was wrong when I found out that it had been done for Mr. Shees last year. Two wrongs don't make a right. And those that voted for it, is a further check. I wouldn't mind if you turned back your paychecks for this and however long it takes to help pay that extra money at full salary. Again, it's nothing against the employee, but there are policies, rules, and regulations in place, and it's your job as council to really make sure that they are followed to the extent in your knowledge. And if you're not given the correct information, I certainly have to hold you harmless if you can give the wrong information used in making a decision. On the agenda tonight, this is an easy one. Under new business, you have a motion to approve a flat fee for the street hockey league. If there is an amount that's been determined for that, I would recommend you put that in the motion so you know what that fee is. If it's still being worked on and you want to say that you want to have a fee for it, again, Madam Solicitor, you might look to change the wording on that. When you do put the fee in, it's a very simple matter. Do an amendment to the fee schedule, which is a resolution, and do that next month at your pleasure. Finally, you have a motion for a preliminary and final plan for a subdivision for residential homes. I do believe the applicant is here. I see the drawing boards. That doesn't happen very often in the borough because we're built out. It's just that when you do a preliminary and final together, just caution you, and I'm sure the applicant will clarify, that all recommendations of the Planning Commission and the engineer have been complied with. If not, then you can separate preliminary and final, and you give a preliminary based on whatever those outstanding items are being done. One thing you've never done is there's something outstanding that hasn't been completed, is give the final approval, because then they can just kind of smile at you afterwards. I've got approval, and those things may never get done. It's just procedurally easier that way. Although I'm sure the applicant has complied, it seems like it's a simple subdivision, so I doubt there was anything major. But I call that to your attention. If there are questions, it's important, and again, the applicant, I'm sure, can address the council with the clock. What was the date of the application? The clock starts at the first planning commission meeting. After that, but no later than 30 days. And there's a 90-day total to come up with your final decision. Usually planning commission takes 2 months, 60 days, and then you have an additional month after that. Watching the Tuesday meeting, I didn't see any discussion at Tuesday to kind of alert you that this was coming up or what the clock was or what needed to be done. So I think just having the weekend, you just need to be sure that you have all the information before you make your decision tonight and decide whether to combine those two approvals if that's possible, or if there's any questions, keep them separate. I'm looking at Mr. Simp because I do know you have experience with planning commissions. in the past. I mention that because this hasn't happened very often, and we do have several new members of council. And I know many went to the training, there was a lot of information covered in 2 days, and nobody can remember everything that comes up, particularly things that you don't deal with in council on a regular basis. So just be sure you have all the right information, and I'm sure you will get that this evening, and then you can move forward. If there's any waivers required, that has to come from the council. Also, subdivision plans have to go to the county planning commission to get their review, so you would want to know, was it sent to them, and did you hear from them? I think they have 30 days to get back to you, but if they don't, that doesn't hold you up. Just make sure that it was sent to the planning commission for the input. So I thank you for that, and Godspeed, everyone.
Okay. Anyone else for public comment tonight? We'll move on then with the approval of the minutes. We have 7A, a regular borough council meeting on June 20th, 2016. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Corinne and Ted. Any questions or comments on those motions? Those minutes?
Yeah, I just have one. Yes, sir. On page,
You're on.
it's not-
It's on, you're on.
sorry. On page 7, where that motion came down for, contract for Mr. Kavanaugh, I'm sorry, that's contract retirement, motion. The only thing I had to say about that was if 3 people voted against it, should be stated in there the reason why, and it doesn't state that, so, I think that should be put in there. It's very vague. The discussion ensued regarding Joseph Kavanaugh's retirement contract, sick time, and how it was being paid. Right? I know by the Sunshine Law that you don't have to put everything in verbatim. Like you're saying, it's cut down on the length of time, but when you have a motion like that that's important and you're got 3 people voting against it, it should state in the reason why. That it was being paid over the amount of the entitled contract. So, in my opinion, you should have stated that in there. Other than that, I'm okay with that.
Any other comments on the minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 8-0. Now we move on to 8, our reports, starting with 8A, a manager's report.
Yeah, the only thing I'd actually add in my report I'd like to bring up is that we are moving forward with our payroll system with AMS to bring our payroll system up to date, which should help with problems that occurred in the past, and that it also will help with our collection of trash, and hopefully we'll have down the road that residents can pay online and for trash, any Morrisville services. So we're looking forward to that.
And we have 8B, our solicitor's report.
Thank you. Over the last month, our office has been working on several items, one of which is a right-to-know request, responding to a request from the engineer's office regarding the MR Ryder project, working with council and with manager for the Cloverleaf and landfill projects with the redevelopment authority, and also working along with manager's office to help rewrite some of the borough employee policies. We also reviewed the engineer's report for the land development application that's before council tonight.
The engineer, we have 8C, an engineer's report, but I don't believe we have an engineer. Move on to 8B, a mayor's report.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I'd like to welcome Gary Sapana as our new part-time police officer. Just in case people were wondering, that does bring the department to 11 full-time officers, 6 part-time officers. And lastly, this may sound funny, but if someone lost a drone on my property and you can identify it, you're welcome to do it. This isn't the first drone, but I didn't run this one over to the lawnmower, so it's still together. That's it for this evening. Thank you.
Next, we have AE, a police chief's report, and I see him bustling in the back.
Start out tonight, everybody sees there's a new trailer in our parking lot. Trailers for traffic enforcement, in there are barricades, cones, stop signs. So if there's a power outage, we'll be able to roll out and line things up immediately. It'll also be for parades and officers, rather than having to go down the yard and pick up, we'll be able to roll right out with them. There's a picture up here of a gentleman that we are looking for two theft from autos, from one down at Ben's and one out at the smoke shop on Delmore. If anybody recognizes him, I'm trying to figure out who he is so we can charge him. So far this month, going to the 18th day of the month, we have 2 stolen autos, both of which one was left running at 7-Eleven. We pursued him down to Street Road and apprehended him after he collided with a telephone pole. We had 3 theft from autos, all vehicles were left open. 1 employee theft, 1 theft of change from the laundromat, and 1 bike was stolen. Over the weekend, we did have a burglary of a 700 block of Crown. Entry was made through a first floor open back window that people went away for the weekend and left the back window unlocked. We're following up on leads on that. 2 class rings were stolen. We're looking on leads online to see if we can come up with some kind of lead on that. Safety of the officers. With everything that's going on in the United States, the officers have been ordered, every call they go on, both vehicles will respond to the call, not just one. No matter how little the call is or how insignificant, both officers will respond. The supervisors on duty can have both officers in the same vehicle if they want that. I would leave that to the supervisor that's working at the time. Next week, we are going to the Democratic National Convention. I'll be taking 42 officers from Bucks County, 2 of which come from my department here, Chris Reardon and Mike Deaney. We will be down there. Hopefully, we have a safe and easy week. I don't know. All the stats for last month are up here. All the stats are on our website, along with some other forms we just put on today. There's a right to know form now on my website. The crime logs are going out every Tuesday. They'll be out tomorrow for this past week. So all the information's out there for our audience. Okay, so far, we have 9 part 1s. I gotta keep it under 14, so my percentages doesn't move off from last year this time. So hopefully the last 12 days of the month, everybody keeps it. So, questions? Thank you.
Chief, if I may, just in light of recent events, I'm sure I speak for everybody here, expressing our condolences and our sympathies on loss of your brother officers.
Very, very tough week.
It's been, I'm sure it has. So please express our best wishes to all your officers and their return home safe.
And we do appreciate, we've received a lot of food. It's almost like having our own dealing. We've received a lot of food from a lot of people, and we really, really appreciate that. That support is out there for the officers, that these things are isolated incidents, and it's horrible what's going on, but we know the support from the community is there, and we do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We move now on to finance. 9A, a motion to pay the bills. May I have a reading of the bills, please?
General fund, $98,709.51. Street lighting fund, $5,375.37. Library fund, $2,152.60. Recreation fund, $2,746.69. The sinking fund is $2,853.72. The street fund is $1,849.16. The state highway fund is $1,479.36, for a grand total of $116,366.41. Since last meeting, $99,865.90, for a grand total of $216,232.31.
Bob? have a motion, please?
So moved.
Debbie?
Second.
Debbie and Corinne, sorry. Debbie. Any questions or comments on the bills?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I don't think I said, go ahead.
All right, I am abstaining on voting for any invoices for vendor sample notice LTD due to family, that's the thing, due to family member conflict of interest, and the total amount of $1,473.87. That is all it is.
Thank you, Todd. We're on page two, the first page two. Please, Debbie, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I just have a question to ask. On the first page of the checks issued in between the council meetings, there's a, 3/4 of the way down, we moved into the capital reserve, a mill, 58,536 into the reserve for the equipment from the general fund. I know the taxes all just came in, and we do have that available on that line item for heavy equipment. I don't know, is there an urgency that was moved in between council meetings? Are we purchasing something like that?
Yeah, it's in my report.
What,
We bought a line painter,
what paper?
a line painter for crosswalkings.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the equipment we can utilize it for all types of paving, especially if we would have had something like this with the playground in the past, we could have sprayed it within half a day. And it's, like I said, it can be utilized in many ways, not just line paint. You take it off and spray, interior, exterior,
What,
that's why we did that from the cap.
maybe I missed it, it wasn't our bill list tonight, correct, or no? For the payment for that thing, whatever that was called?
I was looking for that myself, Mrs. Smith, and I don't see it, however, the check might not have been issued yet.
And I'm sure it probably wasn't, hoping it would be 58,000 for the thing.
No, not even close.
Okay. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because we all know that we didn't get the full grant from a writer. And we discussed about whether we need to put a mill or a full mill in that line, or if we can hold the line in case we needed something. And in this case, we could use it towards that, because we are trying to find where in the budget we can get that. So when I saw that, we weren't told as to we need any kind of equipment at the agenda meeting, so I don't know if it came up since then. So that's why I'm just questioning as to what it is we need to do that in between the council meetings. Because usually that's only for something that's gonna incur a late fee, and utilities, insurances and things. So, all right, well, thanks for clarifying that, but I wish we had moved maybe the whole thing over there, because I think we need to find money everywhere we can to help the MRI project.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. Without odds, it's an abstention. We have no unfinished business, we move on to new business again, part 2, with 11A. This is the other one.
Can I make a suggestion, please?
Sure.
Since the gentlemen are here from Clifton House tonight, would it make a difference to anyone to move them up so that they're not waiting for each
You
motions?
can do that. So now 11A is a motion to approve preliminary, you want preliminary and final?
Yes.
Motion to approve preliminary and final plan for Clifton Homes Incorporated for a 3-lot subdivision located at 209 Woodland Avenue for single-family homes per the Morrisville Planning Commission and the Borough Engineers Review and Recommendations. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Ms. Corinne and Todd. Do we have any questions for the gentleman?
I just have one. I don't have the updated letter that was sent in June. I think your plans first went in. It was stated last year, I believe it was, October 19, 2015. I'm real confident with Gilmore Associates. I'm assuming that you met all those requirements that were needed, as the planning commission said, it was completed on that.
Yes, Brian Horner, with Protract Engineering, and Roads, big project. Yes, actually, that first letter was issued by the previous engineer.
Okay,
And then we resubmitted the plans, and they were reviewed by Gilmore. We
okay,
came back to the planning commission on 2 more occasions, and we, I think, addressed every
okay,
contingency in all of those reviews.
okay, that's my next question. Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Where are these new homes? Are you tearing down a vacant home and putting 3 new homes on Woodland?
Yes, there's an abandoned dwelling at 209 Woodland, right at the end near the canal. And there's 2 parcels of land there. One's a little narrow 25-foot wide parcel, and then where the house is a much larger parcel. Those parcels will be consolidated and subdivided into 3 new lots to accommodate 3 new homes, and they comply with the zoning requirements.
Okay.
That's good. Do we have any other questions among ourselves? Comments? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. That was 11A. We will now move on to 11B, a motion to approve Morrisville Borough's $1,295 annual commitment to the Bucks County Household Hazardous Waste Recycling Program for the 4-year period of 2017 to 2020. May I have a motion?
Second.
Ed and Corinne, any questions or comments on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. Now we have 11C, a motion to approve a flat fee. Should we include the dollar amount there?
Yeah, we want to include the dollar amount. The request from the Rotary Club is that it be treated as a special event, which would be a flat fee of $300.
Three.
That discussion I had with the borough was that it could fall under the special events fee, which would be $300.
How long is this season?
We'll know exactly after registration closes on the 22nd, but we're looking about 8 to 10 weeks max.
How many kids do you have registered for the?
Right now we have 23. As of right now, registration closes on the 22nd.
So what's council's pleasure on this?
I have no problem with $300 fee, flat fee, especially since it's new to, first time doing it and see how many kids are actually staying with it, so, I would consider a special event at this point.
I don't know that I would consider it a special event since it's going for
Okay,
a long period, but I also have no problem with
okay,
reducing the fee since it's a brand new thing to see what the interest will be before we
Okay.
put them out of business before they get started.
so just put in there, flat fee of $300. Okay?
If council's okay with that,
Is that the motion?
Yeah.
Is that the
the
motion?
motion right now does not include a fee.
All right, so we're now, do we have to vote on putting a fee in there?
I imagine we would if we're voting to approve a fee.
All right, I'll make a motion, we include the fee of $300.
We have a motion to approve a flat fee of $300 for the Morrisville Street Hockey League park usage for the operating year of 2016-17.
So moved.
Well, Vic made the motion.
I'm sorry.
Take the second.
Second.
Mr. Council President, before you vote, I want to let you know that I'll be abstaining from the voting, any voting in regards to the Street Hockey League. The reason I am president of the Morrisville Rotary Club, which is sponsoring the league, even though there will be no monetary gain on part of the Rotary Club, there is a possibility of overall recognition for the club, so to avoid any conflict of interest, I would like to abstain from the vote.
Yeah, that's what it's statement. So with that said, all those, do we have any discussion on that, other than what we just
I
had?
just want to make sure that moving forward, if this is something that we're gonna offer to other entities that are gonna come forward and wanna do something like this. I thought we were voting on 500, I don't know why it's been lowered to 300, which is, I don't have a problem with that, but I hope that it's something that's offered to every single solitary other entity that wants to do something like this. So,
That's fair.
They're operating on an unused portion of the park, which is what helps to keep the price low.
I think
In that we
it's
weren't
kids
getting
out
anything
and
for it.
outside and playing on
Otherwise.
this is a wonderful thing, but we just have to make sure that it's treated carefully, that it's not something that is special just because somebody's on the council. It's important.
I understand the $300 fee is the flat fee that we offer for these special events. Now, we're gonna vote on this under the special events, that's $300. And that was my motion, that we include this in the special events, which is $300.